Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to revisit previous times whenever I was timing this S62 engine for my swap. I was getting questions regarding the Vanos installations, so I want to revisit the timing procedure of the Vanos assemblies whenever you're installing them onto the S62 engine. Let's now begin discussing. Before engine reassembly, I want to show you how to get the proper amount of travel within your Vanos system, or you could potentially bend valves on your first startup, okay? So, what we have here is this Vanos spline hub, and you can see these ovals are cut in it. Those are your stops. So basically, you want full range of travel for your Vanos. You see how deep that cup just went into this hub here? I'll pull it back out. There we go. So that's the whole way out. We've reached the stops on the bolt. Now the whole way in should be the same thing. You should reach the stops in your cup, should be in there fairly deep, just like that, okay? Now, as you can see, I had these little white dots on the Vanos hub. Same with the gear for the Vanos unit. See those two white dots? We're going to follow them in at the angle, and they meet right up to those dots. See what I'm saying? That is my sweet tooth. I will say, possibly there isn't really a thing as a sweet tooth, but I did notice that one particular set of teeth does seem to grab very fluid, just like that. I think that's what people mean by sweet tooth, because it not only gives us the most amount of travel, so you can see before this comes out, it goes the whole way to its stop. Bam, then it comes right out. Now watch. Watch how fluid this is. Bam. I think that is what people call a sweet tooth. Now, from BMW themselves, the instructions are the very first tooth available to grab is what you want. Perhaps for some people, the first tooth won't happen until way over here. At that point, you're going to jam up your system and bend valves. Look at the amount of travel we have here. Little to none. Also, these must be spun the whole way clockwise before putting in these cups, or the Vanos unit, okay? Once again, the whole way clockwise, and you want to find the tooth that just feels like liquid, like that. See that? So yeah, ideally, you should be trying to get the most amount of travel from your Vanos system. Or, if you grab a tooth too far out, like this, that is going to bend valves, more than likely. That is not enough travel. Another important thing is whenever I installed this timing chain tensioner, I did not know that the S engines, being fully hydraulic, whenever they're shipped brand new, they come in a collapsed or locked position. You must pump them up to make them stiff. So they put tension directly onto the timing chain guide in here, which will take up any slack that is in the chain. If you noticed in the video where I assembled this engine, whenever I put this in, it kind of just went right in there. You want to feel resistance as you're pressing it in. That is going to tell you that the chain is being tensioned as you are installing that tensioner. Here we have the primary chain tensioner, and by simply just kind of pumping it up like this, it definitely gets stiffer and has gotten some more length to it. I did not know that I was supposed to do that whenever you buy these brand new. No idea. After pumping it up like this, I did a test fit, and it definitely made the chain tighter. So that is important if you're going to time the engine. If you are following the BMW TIS instructions for this procedure, you will see a step in which they tell you to rotate the crankshaft backwards while you are installing these Vanos assemblies. That is also to take up chain slack. I do not believe they have this tensioner installed during that procedure for the TIS. Now, if you install that ahead of time before these even go in, that is going to take up chain slack. That is the way that Part T Racing does it, and he's been building race engines for roughly 9 years. He personally does not do that backwards rotation at all. He just installs that very first and then does the Vanos procedure. Now, I personally, just to make sure that there's no chain slack, I installed the tensioner first and also did that backwards rotation as per the TIS instructions. totally up to you. Well, that's all for tonight's video. For those of you who have been following this process of the S62 into my E46, part number 8 is going to show the wiring, the modifications to make the DME fit in the stock location. We're also going to discuss the exhaust manifolds, and I'm going to crank the engine over. There has been lots of progress. I'm just making sure that is all going to work before putting it on display. So yes, some very exciting progress has been made. It is almost time for a first start of this engine. I will see you in the next video. Catch you later.